is this Gita about? See, Ashtavakra Gita, this great book, as Swamiji called it, is, it was delivered to King Janaka, a very wise king, because he asked for the truth. Okay, so let's see how the whole story started. So one thing is for sure, if you're here, your mind is not here. Your mind does not stay in the same place where the body stays. The mind does not rest inside your boundary. Okay, our mind, this is the problem. So he said that the first thing to receive this truth, you need to be staying inside your body. Then the session will do miracles in your being. That means your consciousness, you will get awakened. You will experience miraculous healing and miraculous understanding, deeper understanding of the greater truth. Okay, so stay inside the body. Next. So Ashtavakra Gita is pure spiritual science. Right? Swamiji said that there are two types of science. One is pure science. Another one is applied science. Applied science are the technology, how people use it. Whereas pure science is the teaching, the knowledge. Okay? So Ashtavakra Gita is the knowledge, the spiritual science behind unclutching. You know the technique of unclutching, but you do not know the spiritual science behind it, right? So in Ashtavakra Gita, I'm going to open up the truth that established the science of unclutching, how unclutching is applied. Once you have both layers, your experience will be complete and also much more subtle. So it is a technology created by the enlightened Master Ashtavakra to reproduce the same experience which happened in him. He, as an enlightened being, he experienced this pure spiritual science, and it is a technology. So he's giving it to the world through this Gita, through this book. So enlightenment, it is possible. Basically, what the message he wants to give to the world is enlightenment. It is possible. In fact, when Swamiji was, when he produced this book, it was called Ashtavakra Gita, Guarantee Enlightenment. Not guarantee solution, it's guarantee enlightenment. So, understand? This is going to be an interesting exploration on this pure spiritual science. Next slide. So let's understand who is this boy sage, Ashtavakra. Understand, he's very young, a very young boy. He's not like an old man. You think that a sage will be an old man. No, he's a young boy, okay? A teenager maybe. So Ashtavakra is a spiritual scientist. He created a technology through which he was able to reproduce the same experience that happened in him. He was conscious even before birth. That means he's coming in before he landed in the planet Earth. He was already conscious. Okay, let's find out how he landed on planet Earth and how come he got 8 curves in his body. Next slide. So the story goes that this story is actually very beautiful. It started with Ashtavakra's mother was pregnant. She was carrying him in her womb. And Ashtavakra's father used to recite Vedic mantras, the chants from the Vedic scriptures. So the father is more like a pandit, like just chanting, reciting. So when the father was chanting, the son was already listening to the mantra in the mother's womb, okay? So suddenly one day the son started questioning the father inside the womb, okay? You can't imagine, how come he can question? So this is what is happening according to the story, okay? So he started questioning. Next slide. So the father was shocked. You're not even born yet, you're questioning me. The Ashtavakra was asking, what happened to the knowledge? What happened to the wisdom? You are reciting only words. There's no juice. There's no wisdom in them. You're just an intellectual pundit, a learned person. Where is the truth? Can you imagine? Your son, who haven't taken birth, is questioning you from the mother's womb about what kind of wisdom, what kind of chanting you have. So, and you know, a pundit is always all about words and big ego, right? So obviously, when his son questioned him in this fashion, he got very, very hurt. See, generally all these pundits, they have a very strong ego because the whole personality is built on words, because they like to impress people by their words, the knowledge they know, okay? All the scriptures, they recite left, right, center, they feel good, they feel, wow, I'm a learned person, okay? So anyway, someone like the son who is not born yet, questioning the father about him reciting but don't know the truth, okay? So this is the drama, starts the drama. Next slide. Okay, so the father was deeply hurt and he cursed the son. Okay, he cursed the son and he said, what? Even before taking birth, you dare to question me? Who knows what else you will do after taking birth? So the father was furious. And the curse in the father resulted in Ashtavakra taking birth with 8 deformities in the body. In his body, there are 8 spots, they are crooked, curved. That's called Vakra, means curved. Ashta means 8, right? So that's why his name is called Ashtavakra, 8 curved or 8 crooked place. So this part shows Ashtavakra was conscious even before birth. He was able to, talk to the father. Okay, so this is the story. Okay. That's why you can see this picture. He has got a humpback and, like many weird body, he looks like a deformed person. Of course, not very, very beautiful, inside, if you look at someone like that. Next slide. So then come the next part of the story. This is how his birth came about, and it shows that he landed on planet as a conscious birth. Okay. Next, the story is another beautiful one. So Ashtavakra went to the palace of King Janaka. He's a great king, a wise king, okay? The moment Ashtavakra entered Janaka's palace, everyone in the palace, the ministers or the people, started laughing at him because Ashtavakra looked ugly with the 8 curves in his body. Okay, imagine he's walking with an 8 curve, wobbly, and so everybody was just laughing. All the ministers and all the people, unfortunately, including King Janaka, was also started laughing. He started laughing also because he found him weird. Okay, so comes the story. Next slide. So, but Ashtavakra did not get hurt. He was untouched by all this mockery, all this laughing at him. He was not hurt at all, totally not disturbed. He just completely relaxed. And he said to King Janaka in his face, okay? Oh, Janaka, I thought you were a great rishi. That means a great sage, right? I thought you were a great yogi, basically an accomplished spiritual person, a yogi, right? But you are neither a yogi nor do you have any yogis around you. You only have cobblers in your court. You have only shoemakers in your court. So King Janaka was shocked by Ashtavakara's strong words. Okay, next slide. Why cobblers? Why shoemaker? Here's the story. Next slide. He said to Janaka, I thought you were a great rishi, right? This is the part, okay? See, Ashtavakra was a very spontaneous person with a great respect for himself. He does not care about what, anything in the outer world. Think about him, despite his deformity, despite being looked down and he looks ugly, right? You need to understand the meaning of this statement. You only have shoemakers in your court. See, he was a 12-year-old sage, okay? He's not old man. He's just only about 12-year-old, teenager, okay? With all these 8 deformities. is talking boldly to the king of the country. Can you imagine? Many people wouldn't even talk like that to the king because you get slaughtered or your head will be chopped off, right? But he has no concern at all. He just give the direct message and hitting hard at King Janaka. Okay. See, unless we allow or give our silent permission, nobody can disrespect us or hurt us. Understand? It is us allowing ourselves to feel hurt. So the good thing about Ashtavakra is he's an enlightened sage, so nothing can touch him. All right, next slide. So Ashtavakra explains, these peoples are seeing only my skin, not my being. Cobblers see only skin because the cobbler see what skin, what shoe they can make, right? So not the reality. When cobbler sees an animal, he only thinks what kind about the skins, not the being of the animal. My body has 8 curves, that's right, but my being is pure. Okay, he said that to the king and all the people, the ministers around him. See, Swami said, when a tailor sees you, he only see only by your dress, what kind of dress, how well your dress is made, right? He will measure your being based on your clothes you are wearing, right? When a jeweler sees you, he will see what kind of jewelry you're wearing. He will judge you based on your jewelry you're wearing, and he weighs you, right? He will roughly think, what kind of status you are, how rich you are. So all these kind of people judge you by the things you wear. Okay, next slide. So Ashtavakra was a person who lived within spontaneity. He does not need to prepare anything. He just live, because an enlightened being, you live spontaneously. He lived completely in the present moment. He could neither be disrespected nor be deluded by the ego. Okay, he was not disturbed at all by the mockery, right? The mocking. So Janaka was a king and an intelligent being. He understood the meaning of the words spoken by Ashtavakra, the strong words. Immediately he realized it. He came down from his throne, came down and touched the feet of Ashtavakra and said, "Oh, please forgive me. I understand what you say, oh Lord. Just from the very words, I understood that what you spoke was from your very own direct experience." See, I told you this king is quite wise. The moment he heard the Ashtavakara's strong words, he knew this is an enlightened master. Don't fool around, show your respect. So, and he was quick to come and offer the respect and complete with him. Next slide. So then Janaka said, "Just by your few words, I can understand that you are an enlightened being. Your words are from your very being. Please teach me. Please give me the wisdom that you have." So for now, he is totally humble and he asks for the truth. See, Swamiji said, this is the scale to know if a person is enlightened or whether the person is an enlightened being or the person is an intellectual pundit. Okay? Just observe him when he is disrespected or hurt, like someone pour all kind of poison on him. The moment the ego is bruised, the pus inside the wound will come out, right? So if, let's say, the person is not enlightened or it's an intellectual pundit, he will radiate violence, anger, and vengeance. He will vomit violence, anger, and vengeance, scream and start using vulgar words or start saying all the horrible things or becoming not verbally abusive but also violent. Okay, so you can gauge that for enlightened being, they don't need to do that because they are established in the being. They know who they are. So whatever the world has done to them, they know that it's not the truth. They're just illusion. Okay, next slide. So then King Janaka asked, because he now is in the listening space, to ask for the truth. He said, How can knowledge be acquired? How can liberation be attained? How is renunciation possible? Tell me, O Lord. From these questions, you can tell King Janaka is a seeker, right? Just like Swamiji, when he goes to every sadhu or every enlightened being he meets on the street, you ask, have you had the enlightened experience? Who's your guru? That kind of thing. You ask this kind of thing. So you know that he's a seeker, right? So these are the questions that the king asked of Ashtavakra. So you can tell he's a seeker. Next slide. So here comes the teaching. See, liberation means not being disturbed, polluted, or touched by the inner and outer world goals. If we are not touched, polluted, or corrupted by the outer world or inner world goals, we are liberated. Okay? Liberation comes when whatever is inside, outside, you are not touched. So the moment we understand the purposelessness of the whole existence, we are liberated. Whatever we think as purpose binds our life. The bondage created is thinking that there is a purpose in our lives. Okay? A goal is not the result of life. Life itself is the goal of life. Understand this statement. A goal is not the result of life. Okay? Life itself is the goal of life. If you measure your life based on money, okay, if you measure your life based on money, you're seriously missing something in life. Understand? If you measure, okay, how well you're successful based on how much money you make or what kind of status you have based on the material stuff, then you're seriously missing something in life. Because that's what society try to measure us, gauge us whether how successful you are in society, how useful you are in society is by the amount of money you make or how much wealth you accumulated, right? So understand. Let's say you set out a goal to become a billionaire. But understand this is not the goal in life. Life itself is the goal of life. It means living life, having experienced fulfillment in life, what you're here to do, that is the goal of life. Not based on the outer world thing or inner world thing. Okay, next slide. So let's look at what King Janaka said. He says two things. First, for instance, if you sell your life for some goals, we may not achieve anything at all and feel frustrated. Let's say you run behind and say, I want to be a millionaire or billionaire, but at the end of it, you did not achieve it. And you feel deeply frustrated and, feel with so much anger because you didn't accomplish it, okay? Or you may achieve the goal, but still feel depressed. That's what happened to me. I very early in my life, I already achieved what I need to achieve in my outer world. And then I come to this thing called depression of success. Swamiji said that when you experience depression of success, normally it happens in people in the 40s, 50s, 40 or 45 during their age, like midlife crisis they call. But for me, it happened to me very early. I think by late 20s and early 30s, I already got everything I want. Because I'm not very greedy, I don't want to be multi-billionaire or whatever. So I just, whatever I want in life, in the material world, I already got it. So suddenly I feel, what is there? That's it. So, but deep in my being, there was this void, right? Emptiness, poverty. The being is in poverty, materially rich. So understand, this is what happened. When you run your life to achieve the goal, yes, you achieve it, but you're not happy. Actually, you end up being depressed. This is what's happening for a lot of people. Either you don't achieve it and you feel frustrated, or if you achieve it, you're not happy. Okay, so this is what happened when you run your life behind goals. So Swamiji said, a jiva mukta, a liberated person, is a person who can sit with himself, who does not need anything from the outer world to entertain him, excite him, or make him peaceful or happy. It means He knows that he's enough unto himself. He does not need anything outside to feel happy. His bliss, joy is not dependent on anything outside. It is radiating from inside, the consciousness. Okay, next slide. So Ashtavakra starts the beautiful answer. Remember the 3 questions asked by King Janaka, right? In today's session, we are going to give the first 2 verses of the Gita that Ashtavakra gave to Janaka, the truth he gave. Okay, the first verse he expresses the truth of discipline. He said, "If you aspire for liberation, my child, shun the objects of the senses as poison and seek forgiveness," right? Sincerity, kindness, contentment, and truth as nectar. That means don't fall into objects of sense pleasure, running behind sense pleasure, because these are poison. Instead, seek for forgiveness, completion, sincerity, kindness, contentment, and truth. These are the nectar, the amrita, that will make your life sweet. Okay? Understand this first truth? Simple, straightforward. Okay? Like 80% of people in our tour run behind this sense pleasure thing. Either their body gets sick or they run into depression. Next, the second verse. This is the second verse. He expresses the technology to achieve this state. Okay? He said, don't do this and enjoy this. But how to do it? He said, he gave the next level of truth. He said, you're neither the earth, nor water, nor fire, nor air, or ether. That means you're beyond the 5 elements, right? The 5 elements in the cosmos and in your body. So in order to attain liberation, realize yourself as a knower of all this and consciousness itself. That's why he said, fall back to consciousness. Don't think you are this matter or, the elements. Okay, so these are the 2 verses. Next slide. Okay. So in the second verse, he says, life is not a change. He further elaborated. Life is not a change. Every moment is independent. Remember, Swamiji say the unclutching. We try to connect good thoughts, bad thoughts, and we form a chain, a shaft, imaginary pain shaft or pleasure shaft, and bind ourselves, and we become in bondage. Okay, so he said, look, life is not a chain. Every moment is independent. The problem is that you think, oh, today I have headache. I had headache last week also. I had it 10 years ago, so I have headache. Each headache is independent, but you connect this headache thoughts and form a change and conclude that I have headache. I have this problem. Okay, so even they're not connected, but you connect them and start suffering from them. Okay, so be very clear, your life is not an interconnected chain as you think it is. Every moment is individual. Every moment is a separate, independent moment. We are unclutched beings by our very nature. See, our very nature as consciousness, we're unclutched. We're not touched. We're not violated. But the mind tries to connect all these things and make it into a bondage, and we're stuck with that. We feel trapped, suffocated, bound. We become a bound soul. Okay? So only when you feel this liberation, you feel this unclutched space, you feel this, as, what I call that? Liberated one. Only that is felt in you, leads you to creativity. If you want to be extremely creative, this is what you do. Feel all this clutching, release all this clutching, and you fall to your being naturally, the space of expansion, the liberation will lead to creativity. Okay? If you feel that you're a very left-brain person, logic, and you feel that you're not creative, this truth about being an unclutched being, how to always fall back to the unclutched space, will lead you to more and more creativity. Okay? Understand? Give me a thumbs up, you understand? Yes? Okay. Next. So first, he gave another deeper layer of truth. He said, you're not the body and mind. That's why he said you're not these five elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space. You're not these elements. You're not matter. Second, if you detach from the body and rest in intelligence, that means consciousness, you will at once be happy, peaceful, and free from bondage. When you feel the suffering is because you have associated yourself, this body-mind system. When you fall back to the consciousness, you're immediately liberated from all these bondages. So by its very nature, the body heals itself. The body has its own intelligence. Okay? The more and more you are in that restful awareness of intelligence in the unclutched space, the healthier you get. Because when the mind does not interfere with the body with its independent intelligence start healing, start becoming healthy. Understand? When you have a sick mind, you will create a sick body. A sick body is created by a sick or disturbed mind. So when your mind is disturbed, whether it's driven by fear or greed, by society, by your ignorance or wrong cognition, you create a disturbance inside you and start disturbing the body-mind system. Okay, so because of that, you create physical diseases. All right, next slide. So he talked about the association with this identity, the association of this body-mind system is because of these two things, the inner world identity and outer world identity called ahankara and mamakara. Mamakara is your inner image, how you feel about you, right? And then ahankara is what you project to the outer world. So it's like these two identity that is constantly in conflict. So the identity you believe in as us inside, inner world is called mamakara. The identity we try to show to the outer world is called ahankara. So the identity which you believe to be inside you, your mind is called mamakara in Sanskrit. It will always be much smaller than what you really are. Okay? The ahankara. Next slide. So ahankara will be based on the superiority complex. You try always to project a bigger you to the outer world. Then mamakara will be based on an inferiority complex. You feel, what I call that? You feel smaller than you truly are. Because constantly we beat ourselves up. Okay? We think lower of ourselves. Okay? So ahankara will be based on fear, mamakara will be based on your greed. Okay? So here comes a conflict. The conflict between ahankara and mamakara is the tension we feel inside us. Till your mamakara and ahankara become aligned, you will create this tension. Like for instance, inside you, you're actually a person lack of confidence. You don't have confidence. Okay? In the ahankara, you try to project you're super confident because you don't want to show that you're not a confident person to other people. So you try to go outside and project that you are a very confident person. You can do anything. You can, you can do anything if you want. So there is this tension inside you, right? Or sometimes you may feel that, in your inside your heart, you feel that you're very scared. You're actually quite frightened easily, or you have a lot of fear. Whereas in the outer world, you try to project that you are a very brave, courageous person, because you don't want to know, you don't want others to know that you have so many fear. You're a coward, right? Who wants to be known as a coward, right? So this is a tension, right? Inside you see another way, and outside you try to project another way, which is direct conflict with how you feel and what you will show to the world. So this tension goes on till you do something to align. That means complete with these, wrong inner image and outer image. Swamiji said that both identities are pure myths. Both are lies. You're something beyond these two identities. Okay? Because mamakara and ahankara are built unconsciously when you were going through your life, right? In the process of growing up, something happened to you when you're in your childhood. And then you feel that, you have a lot of fear, right? So the fear was inserted into you because a certain incident happened in your life. As a result, you create certain ahankara to project to the world just to hide this powerlessness or blind spot. So, but you forgot that whatever happened, it is not the real you. But you start associating yourself with that incident and build these identities about you. That's why you suffer. Okay? Understand? Give me a thumbs up. You understand the difference between ahankara and mamakara now? Okay? Now, let's go to the next slide. So before we enter into this unclutching meditation, we're going to do a 21 minutes unclutching meditation. See, Swamiji gave this unclutching meditation. He said there are 9 layers. Okay? Today we are going to look at, based on what Ashtavakra has given to the world. That means in the first 2 verses, he said that you are not this body, this mind, right? You're beyond this 5 elements. You're something more. Your consciousness. Okay. Which means whatever you feel as you, your mamakara, and whatever you project to the outer world. Obviously, these are myth, they are lies. That means they are not the real you. So you're going to take like next 5 minutes. I give you 5 minutes before we enter into the meditation. List down what are the inner image or outer image you still carry, which is not in tune with your consciousness. Just list it down. It's not too difficult. Just a few minutes, just list it down. What you feel about you, like the agitation, the powerlessness, you still feel about you and what you project to the outer world. This conflict, the tension that you're carrying. Just list it down. Because you're going to spend a few minutes to contemplate where you are right now with ahankara and mamakara. Like one of the mamakara, ahankara. Let's say inside your heart you feel that, you know, you can manifest. Okay. But in the outer world, sometimes you project that, okay, you're not comfortable or confident in manifesting. There's a conflict, right? Isn't it? Like you want to be a manifester because as Paramashiva, you want to manifest what you want. But in the outer world, you feel that you're not able to manifest. Let's say whether it's wealth, relationship, anything you want to manifest, there is this gap. Besides, you know, personality, let's say identity, but let's say even conflict between how you see yourself as a manifestors versus you feel that you're not able to manifest in the outer world. Okay, that conflict. See, if you feel yourself as Mamakara is, oh, I'm Paramashiva, right? I think I can manifest what I want. But in the outer world, you feel that you're struggling to keep up with the ahankara, the projection you show to the outer world. There's a gap. Whatever there is a gap is self-doubt. Self-doubt comes from gap between mamakara and ahankara. So identify the self-doubt you're carrying now. And you're going to do unclutching with all the self-doubt you carry in your life. So this first layer of unclutching is ironing out your ahankara and mamakara, your inner image and outer image, the gap you're having. You need to make sure inside and outside is the same thing. Understand what I'm saying? Okay? There should not be a gap. If there's a gap, choose the best one. The one you consciously want. Okay? Not the lower image one, the best. Please do this sincerely, okay? Ashtavakra Gita is to create deep healing and miracles in your being because it's a pure science. It is going to touch your consciousness, heal whatever that you damage, whatever damage you've done to your consciousness. That's why it's a pure spiritual science. Very deep level of healing is going to happen. So do it sincerely. This so-called homework before we enter into the unclutching. So already we're in this phase. Please don't waste time by not doing the homework. Okay? You're going to sit anyway for the process to happen. Do it sincerely and allow the energy of the enlightened consciousness from Ashtavakra and Paramashiva, Swamiji also, to heal all of us and cause miracles in our being. No, whatever you know, identify as there's a gap. You need to know what are the gaps you have, because the gaps are your self-doubt. Understand? Whatever struggles you have in life is because of this self-doubt. Self-doubt is the first pattern you created, which created violence in us. Your violence pattern, anger, frustration is created by self-doubt. If you don't have any doubt, you will never have any violence or vengeance because you will be falling in tune with that peaceful, ananda. You'll be so peaceful and, fall into your true nature. But because of the self-doubt, you create this tension inside you. This tension is the start of violence, anger, and all kinds of vengeance we created inside us. Got it?
Ma,
Yes?
So for example, my inner can be I am Paramashiva, but my outer is I cannot manifest.
There's a gap, right?
Yes.
Yes. So which means at some point in time inside behind in the back of the mind, there's a doubt. There's a doubt in you, right? So in this unclutching session, you're going to go deep into that and unclutch from that doubt. Okay? Got it, everybody? Shall we begin? Yeah? So please go and take an I-band. We're going to do the unclutching. You need to have I-band. You have the I-band? Yes. See, for 21 minutes, one energy cycle, we're going to do very deep level unclutching. See, every session, we're going to do unclutching at different layers of your existence. So today is unclutching from the ahankara and mamakara, the self-doubt pattern that you created. Okay, all of you, please, let's get ready for the 21 minutes of unclutching meditation. Whatever you have written, whatever you have identified as the gap between ahankara and mamakara, I will guide you into the process to push you into that space of unclutching. With that awareness, just look in, no judgment, just look into the mind stuff and start unclutching from there. Are you all ready? Can you all settle down quickly? Yes. Put on the I-band. Sit with the back straight. If you can sit in Padmasana, go ahead. I'm going to sit in Padmasana. Yes, that's the best space I feel. Lock the body, because when you lock the body, no more movement. You can put your hand in Samana Mudra. Sit with the back straight now. So in the 21 minutes of unclutching, don't move the body. Try to bring your body to stability. Of course, if the Kundalini energy awaken, that's okay. But what I'm saying is, try not to feel, not entertain any agitation in the body. Let's say body feel itchy, body is saying, oh, I feel uncomfortable. Just don't entertain anything from the body. Just witness. Okay? Let's start now. Settle in any comfortable meditative posture with the eye band on, eyes closed. Lock the body, literally locking all the joints. Visualize you holding a key, locking the knee joints, the elbow joints, all the major joints, the hip joints, so that you're going to remain totally in stillness in this posture, because only when you're in stillness, your unclutching can go very deep. Otherwise, any movement is a thought. A thought is from the mind. We don't want to be dealing with the mind stuff. We want to go beyond the mind. So keep the body locked. And then next, focus on your breath awareness. Watch the breathing, long, slow breathing. Let the breathing establish all of us in the space of awareness. Whatever thoughts that come in the inner space, just relax from it, unclutch from the thought. And allow yourself to fall into the silence, the gaps between two breaths. Let the gaps become longer and longer. Keep unclutching from thoughts, random thoughts, independent, irresponsible thought, so that you extend, elongate the space of silence, the unclutched space. Whatever self-doubt that surface, unclutch from the self-doubt. Do not entertain, reject, suppress any thought related to self-doubt. Just witness it and unclutch from it. Whatever fear, whatever greed that comes out, unclutched. Relax from those thoughts. Relax. Settle back into physical body awareness or breath awareness. When you're ready, you can remove the eye band. Fix left. So this is the last slide. You're going to basically thank you for participating. You can share your profound experience. You can stop the sharing. You can stop sharing the slide. Okay, so anyone, you want to share any experience you had?
马杜卡，我有问题想问。
问。
刚才写一些内在形象还有外在形象，我们要在刚才 unclutch 那个 meditation 里面想起那些事情，把它 unclutch 吗？还是怎么样？
全部浮出来的，把它一个个 unclutch， 就是不要 just keep relaxing from those thoughts, okay? Because in the normal day, when these thoughts come out, you will again fall into powerlessness. You fall into the pattern of doubting yourself. You form the pattern of no confidence in yourself, right? So when you unclutch from that, first time you unclutch, it may come back again. After you've done 11 times, these thoughts will not come back again. Just keep unclutching. Okay? So I'm just saying that a single thought that if you unclutch for 11 times, you will not come back anymore. The frequency of it coming back will come down, and eventually you will not come back anymore. Okay?
就是我刚才做的时候就没有浮现刚才写的，就是有新很多思想就跑出来了。
Yeah, 就是 keep unclutching 咯，因为你知道你现在去打开你的 mind, so your mind will have a lot of rubbish all coming out. So you start unclutching, huh?
所以同一个刚才写的要做12次吗？
什么12次
？11 11次吗？
不用。See, like now you unclutch, right? So next time when you come back again, you just unclutch. You don't even need to sit. Let's say you're doing something, then suddenly that doubt come out again. Just unclutch. Just keep unclutching. Let's say now you're supposed to go and do a project, right? You're supposed to go and do some enriching, but then that doubt come back again. You no confident, you can't do it. Just unclutch from that and just go and do it. Okay?
想问 unclutch 一定要打坐，像刚才一样做钉钉的放下。
when you become more and more aware, even when you're doing things, you can unclutch. Okay? Initially, you need to sit because that's where you can go deep, right? So, but in the normal days, let's say you're doing something and suddenly that kind of doubt come back again, then you just unclutch. Okay? Any other question? Any question here? Otherwise, you can share how was the experience. Huh?
Yeah, I see myself that incident where I had my first young when I was very young previously. And it's like I'm not sure my answer, so I asked my father. He gave all the wrong answers.
And then
I saw that young me say that, now I can believe in myself. I don't need to. It's like she said she didn't need to ask.
Just unclutch from whatever that you were given, wrong ideas you've been given. Okay? Anyone else? Do you all have a good experience in this unclutching session? With the right understanding of the science behind this unclutching. See, when Swamiji initiate us, okay, now you initiate the unclutching, and you just try to sit, and sometimes you don't even know what to unclutch, right? Now, I'm giving you the foundation, the pure science why we need to unclutch, right? Because we are attached to this inner world and outer world identity, we clutch to this because of the mind, right? So now let's do the first layer, which is unclutching from your ahankara mamakara, which created all the self-doubt in you. The self-doubt is what lead to violence in you. Anger and violence in you is come from self-doubt. The source is from self-doubt, okay? Because from the tension only you create that pattern. So this is like the first layer you're doing. Next week we'll go through another layer of your existence. Layer by layer I'm making you unclutch. So by the time you fit, hopefully by the end of the 4th session you will have cleared all the different 9 layers of unclutching. Okay? Yes? So if there's no question, we'll conclude with the Purna mantra. Please enrich others people to come if they don't know how to do unclutching. Swamiji said we have to do unclutching, but if you don't know how to do unclutching, please bring them here. Because it is the mind that will make them, they torture themselves. So let's do that. Because the next level, this Ashtavakra is going to go deeper into the next layer of truth. So let's explore and how to, open up the deeper layer of truth by removing all the wrong cognition we carry and be able to access to that dimension in us. Because as a being, we're the unknown, we're all the possibility, a knower, right? It means we're all knowing, all powerful, like Paramashiva. But right now, there's some doubt in you, you're not able to manifest all the full-blown dimension of Paramashiva due to wrong cognition. So now, this unclutching, this truth by Ashtavakra is going to remove all these layers or dust or ignorance that you accumulated, whether it's given by the father, whether it's given by society, whether it's given by yourself, whatever you created, which forms certain idea you carry about you and the world. We need to clean it up. Okay, so take this opportunity to clean it up so that you become pure as a pure being. Okay, so with that, we shall end with the Purna mantra. Thank you for joining. You can share in the group if you feel that you have more things to share or feel that you don't have time to share today. So with that, let's finish off with the Purna mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sauvam Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Parudha Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you, Ashtavakra. All right, good night. Have a good sleep. You have a good sleep tonight after the meditation. All right. I want to end the stream.